When Mckenna Grace first stepped into the shoes of Paige Swanson on young Sheldon, she didn't expect the role would resonate with so many viewers, or with herself so deeply. Smart, gifted, but emotionally adrift, Paige was the perfect narrative foil to Sheldon Cooper, and Grace played her with striking vulnerability and grit. But now, with young Sheldon wrapped and spin-off rumors swirling in the air, Grace is looking ahead, imagining what Paige Swanson might look like in adulthood. And in a recent interview with TV Tapestry, she shared an unexpected, heartfelt wish. If there was ever a version of young Sheldon that revisits Paige as an adult, Grace said, I'd want Viola Davis to play her. Wait, Viola Davis? You could practically hear the collective double-take from fans online. But Mckenna, known for her intelligence both on and off screen, wasn't making a joke. She explained with a warm smile, it's not about literal continuity. It's about emotional truth. And no one captures inner turmoil and resilience the way Viola Davis does. Paige Swanson. A character who deserved more from the moment Paige Swanson appeared in young Sheldon, fans felt a pull toward her. Like Sheldon, she was a child prodigy, but unlike Sheldon, her life was unraveling. Her parents were divorcing, she felt socially isolated, and her intelligence became a burden rather than a gift. Mckenna Grace delivered the complexity of Paige's character in a way that left viewers rooting for her long after her final appearance. She was brilliant, but she was breaking, Grace reflected. She was a warning sign in Sheldon's story, a mirror of what he could become without support. But she was also human, funny, vulnerable, a little dangerous. I still think about where she ended up. Fans do too. Social media is full of headcanons and speculative fanfiction imagining Paige's future. Did she become a groundbreaking scientist? Did she burn out? Did she rebel entirely and abandon academia? Mckenna's idea of having Viola Davis portray adult Paige came from a place of storytelling love. Imagine Paige at 40, she mused. She's been through therapy, or maybe she hasn't. Maybe she became a professor and is brilliant, but lonely. Or maybe she's raising gifted kids of her own and wrestling with how to give them what she never got. Why Viola Davis? When asked why she specifically chose Viola Davis, Grace leaned in as if sharing a secret. She's magnetic. I saw her in Fences and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, the emotional depth she brings, the silent power in her presence, that's what I think Paige grows into. A woman who's been through fire and came out stronger, but with scars. In young Sheldon, Paige's arc was left open-ended. The writers deliberately gave her exits that felt like ellipses instead of periods. One of her last scenes showed her sitting alone, distant, as Sheldon once again got all the attention. It wasn't a farewell, it was a foreshadowing. If that girl grew up and made peace with her pain, Grace said, Viola would show every ounce of that complexity. She wouldn't just be a smart woman, she'd be a whole person. The internet reacts. The idea of Davis playing an adult Paige might sound like an odd casting choice at first glance. After all, Mckenna Grace and Viola Davis look nothing alike. But once the internet got over the initial surprise, the reactions turned passionate. One fan wrote on X, formerly Twitter, okay, but Viola Davis as Paige Swanson, the emotional weight, the Emmy bait, Mckenna Grace as a genius? Another added, we don't need literal continuity. We need emotional storytelling. If Paige's inner world could be played by Viola Davis, give her all the scenes. Some fans even suggested a conceptual episode in a potential young Sheldon spin-off or future series, similar to Atlanta or BoJack Horseman, where a dream or alternate timeline explores what Paige could have become under different circumstances. It wouldn't have to be canon, a fan theorized. It could be artistic, a what if, look at Paige's spirit through the lens of someone like Davis. Others proposed the idea of a narrator, with Davis voicing adult Paige in a series where Grace continues playing the younger version in flashbacks. It'd be like This Is Us meets A Beautiful Mind, one Redditor wrote. A masterstroke of creative empathy. What makes Mckenna Grace's casting wish so compelling is that it shows a deep empathy for the character she portrayed. Many actors move on from roles once the series ends. But Grace has clearly kept Paige close to her heart. Sometimes, I still write little monologues as Paige, she admitted. Like what she'd say if she was giving a lecture on gifted trauma or if she had to testify in front of Congress about the education system. It sounds silly, but she taught me a lot. Grace, already a prolific actor with a resume that includes The Handmaid's Tale, Ghostbusters, Afterlife, and A Friend of the Family, is no stranger to heavy roles. But Paige Swanson was different. She was a girl who needed saving but never asked to be saved. That breaks your heart. The future of Paige Swanson. CBS has remained tight-lipped about any spin-off ideas involving Paige, though Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is currently carrying the young Sheldon torch. But the growing demand to revisit Paige's story, particularly in adulthood, is only getting louder. Could we see a limited series titled Paige, a deep character study where giftedness and trauma collide? Grace's passion and fan backing make the case compelling. In the meantime, fans will continue to dream of Paige in a cluttered university office, scribbling equations and trying not to cry. Of her walking away from academia to start a nonprofit for neurodivergent kids. Of her sitting in silence, an unread letter from Sheldon in her hand. And yes, some will dream of her speaking with the voice and soul of Viola Davis. Because in the world of storytelling, sometimes the most powerful casting isn't about skin or age, it's about emotional truth. And in that regard, Mckenna Grace's vision just might be a stroke of brilliance. Would you watch a Paige Swanson series starring Viola Davis, or perhaps a dual timeline drama with both Grace and Davis at the helm? One thing's certain: gifted girls grow up, and their stories deserve to be told.